Hello, welcome back. This is Javier. Today is Thursday, and we're going again to try to work with an interesting cocktail. Today, we're going to be doing the Boston Sour. What is the Boston Sour? The Boston Sour is basically a whiskey sour. This is a cocktail that has been in existence since about the 1800s, and most cocktails, whiskey sours, sometimes people use egg whites and sometimes they don't. So the Boston Sour, the difference as far as I understand it, is that we're going to be using an egg white for this cocktail. And instead of using a regular bourbon that you use for whiskey cocktail, I'm going to be using rye whiskey. We're going to be using Bulleit. We're going to be using maple syrup, lemon juice, the egg white, and my friends, that's all it is. So we're going to continue using our Boston shaker. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and start with Bulleit. What I like about the Bulleit, this one particular is about 95% right. What I understand about whiskey is that it has to be about 50% at least of rye. This one is 95% rye and 5% I think is barley. So it's really interesting. It has cinnamon, other spices, a little peppery, fruity. It's really cool. Cost about $30. I think is a really cool spirit to be able to mix with something like this. Think about that. If you go to a bar, you're going to be paying about $15 for a cocktail like this that carries about no more than 3 ounces. You do the math. So, great buy. So, we're going to start with the rye, and we're going to do 2 ounces. But, you know us, I'm going to do 3. But you can stick, if you don't like too much alcohol, you can tailor it however you want to. I already have 3/4 of an ounce of a maple syrup. I'm going to be putting this baby in. And then it's going to call for 1 ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. All right. And this is the egg white. Again, if you're not a professional bartender and trained on how to do this, I am not going to try to impress you by doing that. No. I went ahead, opened my egg, pour it in here, make sure there's no eggshells because that could ruin your drink. So I want to make sure that everything is clean. We're going to pour my 1 egg white, okay? And what we're going to proceed to do is we're going to do a dry shake. Basically, a dry shake is basically saying that it doesn't have ice. And you see how I seal this. I have tried this before, and while I was doing it, I ended up wearing the cocktail because when the eggs start emulsifying, it's going to create pressure. So you want to make sure that you keep this really, really tight. So we're going to shake this for about 60 seconds. And I know it sounds like a little long, but you want to make sure that you have a nice foam. And the way to do this, see, it's almost coming through it. So I want to make sure that this is really, really tight. And then once I do the 60, so I'm just going to stop now, just so that it's enough, right? Because I don't want to end up wearing it. And then I'm going to pour my ice. And then here, I'm going to seal this again, and that's possibly why this is really tricky. Again, seal really nicely. And then I'm going to do this about 30 seconds until I feel it's really cold to my liking. And this is it. Super simple, but super delicious. Those of you that like whiskey, and you can do this. And the interesting thing about this Bulleit whiskey is that the owner of it, when he launched it in 1987, Tom Bulleit, was the great great-great-grandson of Augustus Bullitt, who was the founder, I guess, of Bullitt in the 1830s. He, while traveling to New Orleans to deliver liquor, disappears. And his great-grandson, in 1987, decides that he's going to resuscitate this recipe. He was a lawyer, gave up his law practice to make this very successful whiskey that we're drinking today. So those of you that whenever you have an idea and you don't believe that it could be going, it could be going. So here I'm going to do a double strainer, and basically, my friends, here is a Boston Sour for you. What is going to be interesting about this, and then I'm going to put this here. And the good thing about this, as you let it sit, the egg is going to rise and it's going to look magnificent. Thank you. Enjoy it. I'll see you next Thursday.